A dangerous alien race called the Mimics has taken over most of Europe, leaving humanity struggling to survive. These creatures are incredibly strong and can adapt to any attack. To fight back, the world's armies have united as the United Defense Force, UDF. General Brigham, the serious and determined leader of the UDF, orders Major William Cage, a public relations officer with no combat experience, to document the upcoming invasion of France. This invasion is a major effort to push the Mimics out of Europe. Cage, who used to work in advertising and has never set foot on a battlefield, is terrified. He tries to refuse the assignment, arguing that he's not a soldier. He even threatens to use his media skills to turn the public against Brigham if things go badly during the invasion. But Brigham won't tolerate Cage's rebellion. He has him arrested, demoted to a low-ranking private, and sent to join the frontline troops stationed at Heathrow Airport in London. Cage wakes up at the military base, completely out of his depth. He's placed under the command of the strict and sarcastic Master Sergeant Farrell, who has no patience for him. Cage is assigned to a squad of eccentric soldiers and is forced to wear a mechanical combat suit, which he has no idea how to use. The next day, Cage and the other soldiers are dropped onto the beaches of France. But the invasion turns into a disaster. The Mimics are waiting for them and kill most of the troops within minutes. Although Cage has no training, he manages to kill one of the larger Mimics, known as an Alpha, just before he dies. As the Alpha's strange acidic blood covers him, Cage suddenly wakes up, alive, back at the base at Heathrow, just as he was the day before. At first, he thinks it's a nightmare, but the same events keep repeating. Every time Cage dies, he wakes up again at the start of the day. Cage soon realizes he's trapped in a time loop. No matter what he does, he keeps reliving the invasion, and nothing changes, except for him. Over and over, he fights and dies, slowly learning how to survive a little longer each time. However, no one believes his story when he tries to explain it. During one of these loops, Cage encounters Sergeant Rita Vrataski, a legendary soldier and war hero known as the Angel of Verdun. She recognizes that Cage is reliving the same day and tells him to find her when he wakes up again. Cage follows her instructions and learns her secret. She once experienced the same time loop after killing an Alpha, just like Cage. However, she lost the ability when she received a blood transfusion. Rita and Cage team up, training together over countless loops. She helps him become a skilled fighter, while he shares information about the enemy's movements from his repeated experiences. Together, they work with Dr. Carter, a scientist who explains how the Mimics work. The Mimics are controlled by a powerful hive mind called the Omega. The Omega uses time loops to reset battles whenever the Mimics lose, giving them the ability to win almost every fight. Cage inherited this power when he killed the Alpha, but it comes with a risk. If the Omega finds him, it will try to stop him. As Cage's training continues, he starts having strange visions, which he believes are clues from the Omega about its location. The visions eventually lead him and Rita to a dam in the Bavarian Alps, where they believe the Omega is hiding. However, after multiple attempts to reach the dam, Cage discovers it's a trap. The Omega is not there, and the Mimics were trying to lure him into a corner. Cage barely manages to kill himself before the Mimics can take his blood, which would remove his time resetting ability. Realizing they need a new plan, Rita and Cage infiltrate the Ministry of Defense to steal a special device created by Dr. Carter. This device can locate the Omega, but it requires direct contact with an Alpha to work. After several failed loops, they successfully obtain the device and discover that the Omega is hiding under the Louvre Pyramid in Paris. However, during their escape, Cage is critically injured and receives a blood transfusion. This robs him of his ability to reset the day. Now vulnerable and facing permanent death, Cage gathers Rita and their squad for one final mission. They know that if they fail, humanity will lose the war. The team launches a daring assault on the Mimic stronghold beneath the Louvre. One by one, Cage's squad mates sacrifice themselves to help him and Rita reach the Omega. Rita distracts an Alpha, guarding the Omega, while Cage dives into the chamber and plants a belt of grenades on the Omega's core. Although the Alpha kills them both, the grenades detonate, destroying the Omega and killing every Mimic in the world. As the Omega dies, its blood seeps into Cage, and he wakes up once again. This time, however, it's the day before his arrest, long before the invasion even begins. To his shock, the Mimics are already defeated, and the UDF declares victory after a mysterious power surge in Paris wipes out the enemy. Cage is no longer punished by Brigham and is reinstated as a major. Cage heads to Heathrow, where he finds his old squad alive and well, though they have no memory of him. Finally, he spots Rita. She treats him as a complete stranger, asking what he wants. Cage smiles, realizing that although she doesn't remember their journey together, he has saved her and the world.